This unstable rope ladder challenge was the hardest thing ever, because everyone tried and failed miserably. But this guy came up with an absolute genius idea. He literally turned completely around and started climbing the entire unstable ladder backwards. And just watch, because it turned out his crazy trick was the only way to successfully complete the challenge. Setting up the world's largest cereal dominoes was the most incredible event ever, because they lined up over 1,000 boxes and the execution was absolutely flawless. They literally perfectly spaced out every single box across the entire room to make sure it wouldn't fail. And just watch, because as the boxes kept falling perfectly in sequence, it turned out the massive crowd cheered so loud that it made the moment completely unforgettable. This boy's tongue suddenly got stuck to the cold ice cream. He immediately started crying and tried very hard to pull it away, but his tongue and the ice cream would not separate. Then his father stepped forward. He quickly poured a little water on the ice cream, and within moments the boy's tongue came free from it. When this little girl walked onto the stage, all the other children were impressing the audience, but she just stood there quietly. Everyone thought that maybe she was scared. Then she looked at her coach, put her hand on her stomach, and showed that she was very hungry. As soon as they understood, food was quickly brought for her, and after she ate until she was full, she returned to the stage and gave an amazing performance. This girl came up with an amazing idea and started covering all 4 legs of a table with yarn. She kept working on it for 11 days, stitching and wrapping the entire table. But when she showed the final result 2 days later, people were completely surprised. And on the 14th day, she even made a cute little elephant using only a needle and some thread. This kid is considered the best youngest ninja warrior ever, because when he stepped up to face the 13 hardest obstacles, and he literally tackled every single challenge with absolute perfection. He literally flew through the air and swung from bar to bar, making the most difficult course look completely effortless. And it turned out he completely cleared all 13 obstacles very easily, proving he is the ultimate champion. This might be the smartest girl in the world, because she couldn't afford the bus fare for the road. So instead of buying a ticket, she grabbed onto the pole and made sure both her feet would never touch the floor. And soon the people all around started copying too, because she can't get fined at all. This guy is going viral for excavating a secret bunker using nothing but a kitchen spoon. He does 1 dig for every single follower he gains. Day 1 started with just 1 follower and 1 spoon dig, but by day 5 at 100 followers, he actually unearthed bones and found small tunnels. Now at day 9, he's facing 9,000 digs and is installing rope access to reach the bottom. Since then, his account has exploded, officially crossing 2.1 million followers. This girl quietly sat in her favorite corner and began sketching strangers passing by. The first person she noticed was an old woman, so she carefully drew her on the page. A few minutes later, a man carrying shopping bags walked past, and she added him to the artwork too. Then she spotted a girl walking her dog and quickly started drawing that scene as well. Slowly, all the small sketches came together and turned into one incredible piece of art. This guy is about to race one of the fastest and most powerful motorcycles in the world, but before the start, he needs to make sure everything is perfect. He carefully does the final checks, gets into position and prepares for the race. And just watch, because when he finally took off, it turned out he reached 60 miles per hour in just 2.4 seconds. When this girl noticed this machine at the gym, she honestly thought somebody installed it the wrong way. So when she tried pushing it forward, nothing even moved at all. She then sat on it and started swinging side to side, still completely confused about what this thing was supposed to do. But right before she walked away from it, she suddenly realized it was a leg press machine. This teacher told her students, if you want a new teacher, then smile. When the first student came forward, he immediately stopped smiling. The second student did not smile at all either. The third student tried very hard not to smile, but he could not stop himself. But the last student's reaction was the cutest, because she just kept looking at her teacher. This fighter still needed to lose 6 pounds because he was overweight. So he layered himself in heavy clothes, then started training to force his body to sweat out every possible drop of water. He passed out multiple times from exhaustion. By the end, when he drained all the sweat that had built up inside his clothes, he was finally ready to fight. This is why this kid becomes absolutely terrifying the moment he takes off his glasses, because he kicked in a way no one would have expected. This jumping competition turned into the craziest challenge ever, because the one who could reach the top with the least number of jumps wins. The first girl set the pace by taking 5 jumps to make it. The next guy literally almost got it perfectly on his first try, but missed his landing and ended up taking 3 jumps. And just watch, because the final guy reached the top in one single incredible jump. This unique freezing trick is absolutely insane, because when these guys can freeze their muscles completely like solid statues, they literally fall from places perfectly without moving a single inch of their bodies on the way down. And just watch, because as they hit the ground, it turned out their incredible body control makes them look exactly like real-life action figures. This backflip into the pool turned into the funniest moment ever, because when this guy caught this boy to help him jump, he was setting him up for a perfect dive. But the execution was completely different, and just watch, because it turned out the entire attempt was the most hilarious jump ever recorded. This sibling slime challenge turned into an absolute disaster, because while the first sibling poured it backward and it fit perfectly into her basket, the second attempt was a complete failure. Half of it literally fell completely outside of the basket. And just watch, because it turned out the brother just completely messed the entire thing up. When these two kids were beefing the entire game, it quickly turned personal, and he hit him in a place you wouldn't have expected. This guy decided to take part in the human ice cube challenge, where the goal is to sit in a plastic container filled with ice cubes for as long as you can. He could only survive for 2 hours, but when they opened the doors, a lot of the ice had stuck to his body. So they had to bring in multiple guys to shovel all the ice cubes away before someone with a wheelchair could finally break him free. This has to be one of the craziest jobs ever, as this skydiver has to land perfectly inside an NFL stadium with no room for error. But he also has to avoid lots of cables that are barely visible, including the 50-yard line cable, field goal cables, and camera cables. And just watch how flawlessly he nails this landing. This football mascot is an absolute menace, because he randomly targets innocent fans in the crowd with massive cream pies. He literally sneaks up on people when they aren't even looking and completely smashes it right into their faces. And just watch, because as the crowd goes wild reacting to the chaos, it turned out getting hit by him has become the most hilarious and terrifying part of the entire game. This kid broke every rule on the court, because he literally traveled across the entire floor without dribbling even once, just so he could finally make a basket. And just watch, because when he actually scored the illegal shot, it turned out his incredible celebration somehow made the entire moment even better. This girl found out that the train was going to leave in just a few seconds, but even after trying so hard, the train left the station right in front of her eyes. The biggest problem was that her exam was going to start in just half an hour. So without wasting any time, she quickly left the station and started racing down the road. She was moving so fast that she reached the school before the train. This bodybuilder was finally about to eat his favorite donut after months of dieting, but his coach told him that he could eat only 1 donut. As soon as the coach looked away, he started stacking several donuts on top of each other. And in the end, while technically following his coach's rule, he ate just 1 giant joined donut. This perfect circle drawing challenge turned turned into an incredibly intense competition. You might think they would all struggle to get it right, but the first guy set the bar insanely high by getting an amazing 92% accuracy. The second guy ruined his attempt, scoring only 71%. And just watch, because the last guy barely missed it with 90%, making the first guy the ultimate winner. These guys challenged each other to see who could go under the ball the most times. The first guy moved so fast that he managed to score a massive 8 points without making a single mistake. And just watch, because when the manager finally stepped up to prove himself, it turned out he completely struggled and only got 5 points. This driver only wanted to get his windshield clean, so he stopped the car on the side just for cleaning. But suddenly a fuel station worker started filling fuel in the car. As soon as the driver drove forward, the pipe got pulled out with a jerk, and the fuel spilled and immediately caught fire. The good thing was that the driver quickly got out of the car. This group of firefighters just got to use an emergency fire pole for the first time, because most modern fire stations remove these poles for safety reasons. When these firefighters, some with decades of experience, finally got the chance, they couldn't wait to try it, including the captain, a veteran who hadn't slid down one in over 30 years. This Porsche is covered with real people's names, because this guy is actually a YouTuber, and whenever someone likes his video, subscribes to his channel, and writes their name in the comments, he writes that name on his car the very next day. And by doing this again and again, his whole car became completely covered in names. This girl wanted to become a pilot when she grows up, so when she was going on vacation, she reached the airport wearing a pilot's uniform. Seeing her, the airport staff welcomed her very warmly, and even let her sit inside the flight's cockpit first. They also explained to her how an airplane works. This machine is basically a treadmill for swimmers. The current is so strong that if you stop pushing forward, it feels like the water could swallow you. You can't actually see the stream ripping through the pool, forcing you to swim like your life depends on it. But here's the catch: the flow is carefully designed to help pro swimmers build serious strength and perfect their technique. This secret Nutella life hack is absolutely amazing, because when this guy bought a brand new jar, nobody was ready for what he found. He opened it up, flipped it over, and discovered there are actually 2 hidden linings inside. He literally peeled back the white lining to reveal a secret silver layer underneath. And just watch, because when he finally opened up the silver lining, it turned out there was a tiny secret knife perfectly hidden inside to open the Nutella. This garbage collector became famous online for moving faster than almost anyone on his route. The second the truck rolled into the neighborhood, he jumped off like a sprinter, grabbed 2 trash bags at once and tossed them in before the driver even fully stopped. Then he sprinted back, cleaned it up faster than anyone expected, and caught right back up to the moving truck. This man hasn't touched the floor in years, because he thinks the floor is lava. Every time he has to move, he turns it into parkour, jumping over things and climbing on the drawers. He walks across the counters and balances on the fridge, and his mom gets super mad whenever he does this, because all his crazy jumps keep breaking all the furniture. This girl accidentally got a grape stuck deep inside her nose. She tried every trick she could think of, but it refused to come out at all. So she was almost ready to cancel dinner plans with her mom that night, but right before making the call, she gave it one last shot.